I'm live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Random Fandom. I am your host, RavenWood, and I'm currently at the couch. And I forgot to set this up at my desk. I want to show you on my desk, not the other area where I do the on the shelf stuff. Not on the shelf. This is not on the shelf. This is on. Did I say on the shelf? I might be delusional, but anyways, welcome back to the Random Fandom RavenWood Reads. Yes, I'll be reading today. So welcome back to that. So welcome back to this here. I would like to change the light. Keep forgetting to change the location to my room, where my desk is at. So, but we'll stick here at the couch. It's a nice, comfy couch. It's so comfy. Okay, so last time we were here, we were reading what's it called? Well, we were reading The Artificer by Raymond McNeil. But I want to take a break. I got finished with chapter 1. I entered chapter 2, but I didn't want to continue until November. And the reason why is because this is October. This is the month of October. This is the month of spookiness. And I'm kind of late on the whole month of spookiness. So this would be, and since this is my first October reading a book or reading stories, always the first is always the worst. So let's get the first out of the way. The worst out of the way. Not to say Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is the worst. No, I'm saying, nor is it the first, but of spooky stories. But yeah, let's get this the first year. I'm talking about the first year. Just get the first year out of the way. Will I be live tomorrow? Yeah, I'll probably be live tomorrow evening. Yeah, actually, yeah. I'll be. We'll do it. Damn it, we'll do it live. Saturday. This Saturday, same time as now. Roughly at 10. No hot cocoa right now. We're just reading this right now here. But before we read, I would like to talk to you about something that really caused my eyes pain or unsightly stare. I didn't like it. Anyways, what happened was I was playing Fortnite, and so I went to a castle, one of the remaining castles. I think it's the only remaining castle now I think about it. In the map, on the map. And it's where you fight one of the NPCs, and I was doing it for a quest. The moment I landed, all of a sudden I saw nothing but the void and the light from my character. My character had a backpack bling, backpack thing that was glowing. And don't worry, I'll get a haircut tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, things are happening tomorrow. I'll be going at the fall festival tomorrow, so I made. Yeah, fall festival will be tomorrow. I'll dress up as Phantom. Yeah, or Phantom will kill me and then just wear my skin or something. I don't know. I'll go to the festival. All that good stuff. Anyways, a lot of stuff are happening tomorrow. Anyways, I landed on the castle, on the top of the roof and everything, grabbed whatever gear. I heard someone else land nearby. So I was like, oh, great, the void. It's pitch blackness. My character has little light to shine. I guess the sun just died momentarily. It was a bug. All in that one area. There was no light, no cameras, no nothing. Lights, camera, action, where it goes. Sorry. None of that. None. There was no light. Well, light again. There was light from a backpack. But there's no light coming from anywhere else. And then it was like that for a good minute. So my first reaction was, well, it's dark. I can't see. Thankfully, I've had my headphones on. I'll just rely on hearing my enemies. I'll and then what happened was, I would move, and then the void, the dark pitch darkness, the void lit up like a light bulb, and then I would move again, and it would just dark. And I was like, wait, don't do this. So every time I would move closer or further away, I think what's happening, it's a light zone or something. It's like a zone where the developers put a zone where everything's supposed to be lit up, where the light is supposed to be oh, here in this area the light needs to shine in that direction. Right? It's some sort of lighting error or something in particular area. Right? And it bugged out or something. Reality just stopped existing. I could move. There was platforms. I could walk. So that was okay. But I could not see thing. I could not see a single thing. Hello, darkness, my only friend. So you got that going on, and it was going in and out, and my eyes were oh. And so I was just dead. Oh, not dead. I managed to complete the quest. And since that bug was happening, it was at a certain focus. It was at a certain focus. Oh, I almost forgot my excellent bar. And we're doing excellent. Okay. My connection bar. So I was like, okay, so if I'm further away from this perspective, or if I dance around it, I will at least be able to see. So someone up came up the stairs, tried to kill me, failed. I guess they had the same bug, or they're experiencing the same bug. I was used to not seeing things and knowing where the things are if that ever happens or occurs. So yeah, I was okay with that. No, I'm just trying to lower it. Let's put it over here. There you go. I'm moving a tab. That. Anyways, so I was okay and fine with that, but it's just, can I? Yeah, that's much better. That's all I need to know. And now just put it right here. There we go. All right, I'm sorry. Now, anyways, sorry for that little interruption. So yeah, I couldn't. And then after I killed the person, I went downstairs again, met the NPC that I was supposed to kill for a quest. Before doing the little thing where I challenge her, and before challenge her, it's I'm gonna buy the guns off of you. The rare or epic or whatever weapons you have, and I'm just gonna buy them and then kill you with them. First, I had to challenge you. So that's what I did. Took advantage of that feature. And so, yeah. After I got rid of that NPC, completed the quest, I'm like, okay, I'm heading out of here. I'm hoping that this glitch is not on the rest of the map. Got away from that area, and Praise the Lord. The glitch was only in one spot. Anyways, now Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. And so, oh yeah, before I get to you, so you ever see me like doing this constantly? Because my eyes are still adjusting from that terrible flash on of the makeup into your decision, make up your mind, and sometimes it just go. It wouldn't make up your mind. It wouldn't. The glitch wouldn't make up its mind whether or not it wanted to stay on or not. So it was definitely like a zone area or a perspective thing or whatever. Go something. I don't know. Anyways, the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And other stories. Robert Louis Stevenson, Barnes & Noble, New York. Contents. Introduction. The strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Other stories. Will of the Mill. Will of the Mill. You have to say the O. Will of the Mill. Will of the Mill. Will of the Mill. Markham. Markham. Thrawn Janet. That sounds like a Star Wars reference. Or the Star Wars reference to this. Olala. Olala. Okay. Alrighty. Off to a good start with not pronouncing things. Olala. The Bottle Imp. The Isle of Voices. Okay, Isle is short for island. Just in case, if you all don't know that. The Isle of Voices. The wife. Oh, the wife. Not wife like, I'm married. We're married. Yay. Not spouse. It's like, it's spelled WAIF. The what? The wife. The wife. The waif. The waif. I'm gonna assume it's the waif. Waif woman. The body snatcher. Oh. All right. Okay. That's definitely on the nose. That's a story that's definitely on the nose. But yeah, we're going with the strange case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. But probably next year we'll go with the other story, Will of the Mill. Okay, but before that, we're going to read the introduction. Introduction. Sorry, I don't know why I did that. Many authors write stories that prove so popular they were reprinted long after the creators have died. Well, that's going to be true for a lot of writers, whether they're alive or whether dead today or dead tomorrow or dead previously. Dead yesterday. So like, but yeah, many authors write stories that prove so popular that they are reprinted long after the creators died. Very few authors write a story so iconic that its creators, that its characters and plot transcend the literature to become fixtures in our cultural consciousness. So basically, if you're thinking of an idea, but you've never read of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, nor you know anything about Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, you'll somehow probably make a reference to Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde if it's a double personality or a split personality, and the split personality is an evil villain, right? And the only way to split them apart is via strange magic or a potion or science or something, right? And then you just made a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde reference without even realizing it. So there's a possibility of that happening, right? Because you would hear it word from mouth, like, oh, stop acting like a Mr. Hyde, you silly goose. Or there are some people who use references like that, or whatever. Or you will watch a cartoon that have like, I will now drive evil from me, and they won't say Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, but they have like an evil version of that character, right? So yeah, um, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Goku Black or uh, Saber Alter is somehow a Mr. Hyde reference. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there are some cases where like that like it's can't technically stretch that they're Mr. Hyde references. Like the evil version of a character is a Hyde, somehow a Hyde reference, which I guess you can. But like, anyways, moving on. But like it's so popular. The moment you hear Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde, and if you know what the story is about without even reading it, or if you get the bare minimum of the story, you probably also like, oh yeah, guy drinks potion, becomes evil. But here we are reading the story, and you are going to listen. If you decide to watch this now or later. Or never. If you don't watch this never, you probably I'll somehow like I'll probably somehow like transfer this knowledge into your brain. And while you're sleeping at night, just you'll be technically dreaming about this experience. What's it called? Telekinesis? Yeah, I'll use my telekinesis. Anyways, or some other mind. I'll use my mind abilities. Anyways, where am I? Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, published in the United States as The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Soon after its publication in 1886, the story was recognized as a brilliant psychological study of the fundamental duality of human nature, and its title characters representative figures of the respectively, the benevolent moral side of the human spirit and the dark side that helps to keep it in check. 125 years after it first appeared in print, more people are probably familiar with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde as interpretations of the split personality. What did I tell you? Split personality than they are with the work of the author who created them. So yeah, most people are like focused with like, oh, split personality thing. Let's have that episode of our action stories in our comic stories or whatever. Let's have a Spider-Man, but an evil Spider-Man. We'll call him Venom, or and then we'll have an even eviler Venom, and Carnage, and just pure evil. Venom is like he's like, I'm doing bad things. Carnage is like, I'm evil. Just straight up. And then you got Dr. Jekyll, okay, Peter Parker, like, I think I'm gonna stay away from this drug. This space alien goo. Anyways, this is one heck of an introduction. So Stevenson's tale, okay, was yet one more milestone in a career that was tragically brief, but brilliantly incandescent. That's a big word. He was born in 1950 to a comfortable middle-class Calvinist family. Okay, we're done here. Just kidding. Calvinist family, who groomed him from youth to follow the footsteps of his father, an engineer who had made him a name for himself, constructing lighthouses. Hey, that sounds like a good job. Constructing lighthouses. Much to his parents' dismay, Stevenson's education took him down a different career path. Oh, yeah. He switched from engineering courses at University of Edinburgh to study of law, and worked briefly at a law firm while studying for the Scottish bar examination. I don't know why I say Scottish. Scotty, beam me up, Scotty. Studying for the Scottish bar examination. Shortly afterward, he discovered his gift for writing and began contributing essays and reviews to the Cornhill magazine, Macmillan's magazine, and other leading periodicals of the day. Periodicals. Oh, my fingers. Oh, my hand, my joints. And other leading periodicals of the day. Although he can't speak. Although he published his first short story in 1977, Stevenson was known largely during these years as a travel writer. Ooh. His first two books, An Inland Voyage. I need to have his entire collection, the Robert Louis Stevenson collection, please. I wish I could on that instead. Is there? I probably need to Google that. Okay, I'll Google that right now. Let me Google it. Actually, let me not Google it. Let's say we do. I'll Google it. I can't speak. I'll Google it later. Alligator. Oh, here's the little ribbon thing. It's over here. For some reason, it's at this page, and it's at this page. Okay. Let's have it out. Where is it? An Inland Voyage in 1878. Ooh. And Travels with a Donkey in the Sevens? I don't know how to pronounce it. In 1879. Being chronicles of trips he made to France and Belgium. His first collection of short fiction, New Abrian Nights. Ooh, okay. Was published in 1882. And its tales of adventure were well reviewed and were paid tribute by a number of leading literary colleagues. Stevenson's first novel, Treasure Island, I thought it was Jules Verne. You know what? I'm going to have to read the Treasure Island. That sounds interesting. Treasure Island. This guy. Oh, there's a scratch there. Yeah, oh well. Followed in Treasure Island. Followed in 1883. Stevenson had married divorcee Fanny Osborne. in 1879 and wrote his tale of pirate adventure to please his 12-year-old stepson, Lloyd Osborne. That's a nice name, Lloyd Osborne. Fanny Osborne. And Robert Louis Stevenson. I love these already. I love this already. Lloyd Osborne, with whom he would later collaborate on the novels The Wrong Box, 1889, The Wrecker, 1892, and The Ebb Tide, 1894. I've got to read them all. I've just got to read all of these. Scary or not, I've got to read all of these. Oh, this is going to be. Hey, Ravenwood Reads, Stevenson stories. I'm going to love this. This little mini adventures. Wow. Okay. The wrong tide, the ebb tide. The novel cemented Stevenson's literary reputation and established virtually all of the iconography that we associate today with the pirate story. This is going places. Reading Stevenson's stories today, it is easy to understand why they earned such an acclaim when published. Okay. And why they have endured. Stevenson was a natural-born storyteller. Most of his fiction is well plotted, often brilliantly so. His skills of description, even in tales set in the historical past, are strongly evocative and give the narratives a richness and authenticity one associates with first-hand observation. Stevenson's characters, even and often especially his villains, are never one-dimensional, but like Jekyll, are never one-dimensional, but like Jekyll and Hyde, have the multifaceted personalities of real persons. What? I've got to know. And there's much to be said for the literacy panache? Panache? Panache. Steve, I don't know how to pronounce that word. Stevenson brought to story types that, in less skillful hands, might have been dismissed as mere adventure stories, boys' fiction, or fodder for the penny dreadfuls. Oh wow! What these wow, the phrasing here, penny, the terms and the words. Oh, my watch. 10:40. All right. Yeah, we can keep going. Penny dreadfuls. Stevenson's fiction ranged in type from historical romances to tales of mystery, adventure, intrigue, and the macabre. This volume collects the best of Stevenson's fantastic fiction for adult readers. Even within this genre, Stevenson's works shows impressive breadth, ranging from allegorical fantasy to folklore fantasy, gothic terror, psychological horror, and supernatural horror. Oh, brilliant. The oldest of the stories, Will o' the Mill, dates to 1877, with Thrawn Janet, 1881, Mark Hyde, 1886, and Olala, 1885. It anchored Stevenson's 1887 collection, The Merry Men and Other Tales and Fables. The Merry Men. Oh. We merry men. The diversity Stevenson strove for in his fiction is evident in these tales. Williamille is a poignant parable on what might be called the unexamined life. Thrawn Janet, told mostly in Scottish dialect, is a folkloric account of a witchcraft legend. Why didn't we get it? Makai is a crime story with a thread of ambiguous supernaturalism that anticipates the dichotomous personality that Stevenson will explore the same year in The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. You know what's funny about the heroic spirit, Dr. Jekyll, in F.G.L., in Fate Grand Order, he's lame. He doesn't. He just has a knife, and it does. And his berserker form, he just throws hands. It's not interesting. I want an update. I want an animation update for Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, the heroic spirit. Can we get that, please? If anyone can hear me, anyone at all? No? Okay. It'd be nice if, like, he also has the attributes of the other characters from the Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and other stories by Robert Louis Stevenson as Stevenson. That'd be nice. Just saying. Or you could just introduce other Stevenson characters. Just saying. Gosh. Okay. It's just the popular one is just Dr. Jekyll. Anyways. For much of his life, Stevenson was sickly, suffering from a lung condition that sent him in search of climates beneficial to his health. In 1888, he sailed to the South Seas, where he spent the rest of his life. He channeled his exposure to the local color of Hawaii, Samoa, and other South Sea islands to the stories to make up his 1893 collection, Island Night Entertainments. The Bottle Imp, 1891, with its account of a wish-granting being imprisoned in a bottle. What is what? Can be seen as his variation on the theme of Aladdin and his magical lamp, a story from the 1001 Nights, aka the Arabian Nights, which profoundly influenced Stevenson in his youth, hence of the title of his first short fiction collection, The Isle of Voices, 1893, is one. I keep forgetting to do this every time there's so I've been skipping some of the parentheses. Is one of Stevenson's most delicate fantasies, a folkloric tale whose supernatural indicates the unfold with an unnaturalness of real life events. What? Huh. Stevenson had originally intended to include his Norse fantasy, the Waff Woman, in the same volume, but it was overruled. By his publisher, who preferred the non-fantastic South Sea story. The Waff Woman would not see publication until 1914. Oh, you dirty! Dirty man. You dirty publisher. Okay. Stevenson's Stevenson's two best known tales of the supernatural are his most horrific. The Body Snatcher. Okay, I can see why. That's all over the place. The Body Snatcher, 1884, draws from the known details of the disreputable profession of resurrection men, who, under cover of the night, robbed graves to provide corpses for doctors. I'm sorry, those physicians, physicians, I can't pronounce it. Physicians, whatever. Doctors and medical schools. Let's go with that. And who sometimes guaranteed the freshest specimens by hastening the deaths of the living. Oh, okay. So there's just, you're dead. Give me a party. Sorry. Stevenson likely was familiar with the exploits of the notorious. I can pronounce it. I can't pronounce physician. Physician. Whatever. Body snatching criminals William Burke and William Hare, who in the 1820s murdered victims to provide corpses for dissection to an anatomy lecturer. Oh, that's despicable. His story was adapted. Sorry, I can pronounce. I promise. Adapted memorably for the screen in 1945 with Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi. I'm going to pronounce that as best as I can. Cast in the lead roles. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde has become, since its publication, a staple of the horror genre that has been filmed many times. Those who know it only from its flamboyant cinematic treatment will be surprised at the subtlety of Stevenson's approach to its theme. There are no vivid versatile transformation scenes, and Stevenson keeps the truth of the relationship between Dr. Jekyll and Hyde very much a secret until the closing pages. Oh, I kind of wish he was alive today, so I'd be like, you, sir, are a great writer. And to anyone who is a descendant of Stevenson, you, sir, you're a great, you're a great ancestor, a great writer. Okay. And we're about to find out how great indeed. So yeah, okay. Where am I? Stevenson died on December 3rd. December 1894, less than 3 weeks after his 44th birthday. Well, at least he made it. Birthday check on that. The body of work he managed to complete in such a short lifetime remains impressive, and its quality inarguable. the quantity of his short fiction that fell within the realm of the fantastic, approximately one-third of all the short fiction he wrote, suggests a fondness for the form, and awareness on Stevenson's part that fantasy, the supernatural, and the macabre sometimes brought out his greatest strengths as a storyteller. Stefan uh, um, German last name. I'm assuming that's either German or Russian last name. New York, 2011. Okay. Introduction done. The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Contents. The story of the door. The search for Mr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll was quite at ease. The Carew murder case. The incident of the letter. Remarkable incident of Dr. Lane. Incident at the window. The window? Oh, okay. The last night. Dr. Lane's narrative. Dr. Henry Jekyll's full statement of the case. Alright. And finally, here we are. Okay, we're gonna continue. Okay, we're gonna continue. Don't worry. We're continue. That's a nice introduction. I love it. Okay, anyways. Okay, so hold on. Let me take a minute, actually. Let me take a minute. Excuse me. Quite so. Skillsome. Okay, so this ribbon's bit. Dr. Utterson, the lawyer. Oh, all right. Okay, then it's a lawyer. Sorry. Dr. Utterson, the lawyer, was a man of a rugged countenance that was never lighted by a smile. Cold, scanty, and embarrassed in discourse, backward in sentiment, lean, long, dusty, dreary, and yet somehow lovable. At friendly meetings, and when the wine was to his taste. This wine is very too much. This is so good. Very nice wine. Fine alcohol. Sorry. Okay. To his taste. Something intimately human beaconed from his eye. Something indeed which never found its way into his talk, but which spoke not only in the silent symbols of the after-dinner face, but more often and loudly in acts of his life. He was austere with himself, drank gin when he was allowed to mortify a taste for vintages, and though he enjoyed the theatre, he had not crossed the doors of one for 30, not 30, not crossed the doors of one for 20 years. But he had an approved tolerance for others, sometimes wondering, almost with envy, at the high pressure of spirits involved in their misdeeds. Oh, okay. And in any extremity inclined to help rather than to reprove. I incline to Cain's heresy, he used to say quaintly. I let my brother go to the devil in his own way. In this character, it was frankly his fortune to be the last reputable acquaintance, and the last good influence in the lives of down-going men. Into much of the into such as these, so long as they came about his chambers, he never marked a shade of a change in his demeanour. No doubt the feat was easy to Mr. Utterson, for he was undemonstrative at the best, and even his friendships seemed to be founded in a similar catholicity of good nature. It is the mark of a modest man to accept his friendly circle ready-made from the hands of opportunity, and that was the Lord's way. His friends were those of his own blood, or those whom he knew, or those whom he had known the longest. His affections, like ivy, were the growth of time. They implied no aptness in the object. Hence, no doubt, the bond that united him to Mr. Richard Enfield, his distant kinsman, the well-known man about town. It was a nut to crack for many. What these two could see in each other, or what subject they could find in common. It was reported by those who encountered them in their Sunday walks, that they said nothing, looked singularly dull, and would hail with obvious relief the appearance of a friend. For all that, the two men put the greatest store by these excursions, counted them the jewel, the thief, counted them the chief jewel of each week, and not only set aside the occasions of pleasure, but even resisted the calls of business, that they might enjoy them uninterrupted. It chanced on one of these rambles that their way led them down a by-street in a busy quarter of London. The street was small, and the street was small and what is called quiet. It's called quiet or quiet? I don't know. But it drove thriving trade on the weekdays. I'll be right back. I want to see if it's quiet or quite. I always get these confused. Yeah, quiet. Okay. Sorry about that. But it drove a thriving trade on the weekdays. The inhabitants were all doing well, it seemed, and all emulously hoping to do better still, and laying out the surplus of their gains in coetry. So the shops' fronts stood along that thoroughfare with an air of invitation, like rows of smiling saleswomen, even on Sunday, when it veiled its more florid charms and laid comparatively empty of passage. The street shone out in contrast to its dingy neighborhood, like a fire in a forest, and with its freshly painted shutters, well-polished brasses, and general cleanliness and gaiety of note, instantly caught and pleased the eye of the passenger. Two doors from one corner on the left hand going east. The line was broken by the entry of a court, and just At that point, a certain sinister block of building thrust forward its gable on the street. Okay. It was 2 stories high, showed no window, nothing but a door on the lower story, and a blind forward of discolored wall on the upper, and bore in every feature the marks of prolonged and sordid negligence. Sordid negligence. The door, which was equipped with neither bell nor knocker, was blistered and disdained. Tramps slouched on the recess and struck matches on the panel. Children kept shop upon the steps. The schoolboy had tried his knife on the mouldings, and for close on a generation, no one had appeared to drive away these random visitors or to repair the ravages. Oh, wow. Okay, wow. This is quite detailed. Cool. For just a building. That's okay. Mr. Enfield and the lawyer were on the other side of the by street. But when they came abreast of the entry, the former lifted up his cane and pointed. "Did you ever remark that door?" he asked, and when his companion had replied in the affirmative, "It is connected in my mind," he added, "with a very odd story." "Indeed?" Mr. Utterson, with a slight change of voice. "And what was that?" "Well, it was this way," returned Mr. Enfield. "I was coming home from some place at the end of the world. At the end of the world! At the end of the world, about 3 o'clock of a black winter morning, and my lay through a part of town where there was literally nothing to be seen but lamps, street after street, and all the folks asleep. Street after street, street after street, all lighted up as if for a procession, and all as empty as a church, till at least I got into that state of mind when a man listens and begins to long for the sight of a policeman. All at once I saw two figures. One little man who was stopping along eastward at a good walk, and the other, a girl who may be 8 or 10, was running as hard as she was able down a cross street. Well, sir, the two ran into one another, and naturally enough at the corner, and then came to the horrible part of the thing. For the man trampled calmly over the child's body and left her screaming on the ground. Oh, gosh. For the man trampled calmly over the child's body and left her screaming on the ground. It seems nothing to hear, but it was hellish to see. It wasn't like a man. It was like... It wasn't like a man. It was like some damned juggernaut. Thus, the Deadpool villain. Juggernaut from X-Men. It was like some damned juggernaut. I gave a few hello, took my heels, collared my German, and brought him back to where there was already quite a group about the screaming child. He was perfectly cool and made no resistance, but gave me one look so ugly it brought out the sweat on me like running. The people who turned out were the girl's own family, and pretty soon the doctor from whom she had been sent put in his appearance. Well, the child was not much the worse, more frightened of going to the sawbones. And there you might have supposed what had been an end to it. But there was one curious circumstance. I had taken a loathing to my gentleman at first sight. So had the family's child, which was only natural. But the doctor's case was what struck me. It was the usual cut and drive of the apothecary? What? Apothecary? Apothecary. Let's go with that one. Apothecary, no particular age and color, with a strong Edinburgh accent, and was about as emotional as a bagpipe. Okay, I'll have that mental image in my head. I don't know what that accent will sound like, so we'll just make him sound something else. Strong like a bagpipe. Well, sir, he was like the rest of us. Every time he looked at my prisoner, I saw that sawbones turn sick and white with desire to kill him. Oh, I knew what was in his mind, just as he knew what was in mine. And killing being out of the question, we did the next best. He told the man, we told the man we could and would make such a scandal out of this, as should make his name stink from one end of London to the other. If he had any friends or any credit, we undertook that he should lose them. And all the time, as we were pitching it in red hot, we were keeping the women off him as best as we could, for they were as wild as harpies. Oh, they were. I never saw a circle of such hateful faces, and there was the man in the middle, with a kind of black, sneering coolness, frightened too. I could see that, but carrying it off, sir, really like Satan. Odd description. Oh, that's a nice one. If you choose to make a capital of this accident, he said, I am naturally helpless. No gentleman but wishes to avoid a scene, he says. Says he, name your figure. Well, we screwed him up to £100 for the child's family. He would have clearly liked to stick up, but there was something about the lot of us that meant mischief. At last he struck. The next thing was to get the money, and where do you think he carried us but to that place with the door? Without the key, went in and presently came back with the matter of £10 on guard, and a cheque for the balance on the court, drawn paperable to a bearer and signed with a name that I can't mention, though it's one of the points of my story. but it was a name at least very well known and often printed. The figure was stiff, but the signature was good for more than that. If it was only genuine, I took the liberty of pointing out to my gentleman that the whole business looked apocryphal, 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 and that man does not. In apocryphal, and that man does not in real life walk into a cellar door at 4 a.m. and come out with another man's check for close upon £100. But he was quite easy and sneering. Set your mind at rest, he said. I will be with you till the bank's open and cash the check myself. So we all set off, the doctor, the child's father, and a friend and myself, and passed the rest of the night in my chambers. The next day, when we had breakfasted, we went in a body to the bank. I gave in the check myself, and it said I have every reason to believe it was forgery. Not a bit of it. The check was genuine. Tut, tut, Mr. said Mr. Anderson. I see you feel as I do, said Mr. Enfield. Yes, it's a bad story. For my man was a fellow that nobody could have to do with, a really damnable man. And the person that drew the check is the very pink of the priorities, celebrity too. And what makes it worse, one of your fellows who do what they call good blackmail. I suppose an honest man paying through the nose for some of the capers of his youth. Blackmail House is what I called the place with the door. In consequence, even though that, is far from explaining all, he added. With the words fell into a vein of musing. From this, he was recalled by Mr. Anderson, asking rather suddenly, "And you don't know if the drawer of the check lives there?" A likely place, isn't it?" returned Mr. Enfield. "But I happen to have noticed his address. He lives in some square or other." "And you never asked about the place with the door?" said Mr. Anderson. "No, sir." "No, sir. I had a delicacy," was the reply. "I was very strongly about putting questions. It partakes too much of the style of judgment. You start a question, and it's like starting a stone." Okay, never heard of that phrase before. "You sit quietly on top of a hill, and away the stone goes, starting others, and presently some bland old bird, the last you would have thought of, is knocked on the head in his own back garden, and the family have to change their name. No, sir, I make it a rule of mine. The more it looks like..." The word used to mean strange, so I'll repeat. "No, sir, I make it a rule of mine. The more it looks like Queer Street, the less I ask." It's just a street that says Queer Street. And there's not a single weird person there, just a bunch of gay people. And you would think it would be queer, but not queer instead of queer. Queer, are you completely clear on that? I don't know. Okay. It looks like Queer Street the less I talk. I know. I'm gonna love this story. Queer Street. Who speaks like that? There's probably a phrase that's very similar to that, but anyway. A very good rule too. A very good rule too, said the lawyer. But I have studied the place for myself, continued Mr. Enfield. It seems scarcely a house. There is no other door, and nobody goes in or out of that one, but once in a great while the gentleman of my adventure. There are 3 windows looking on the court on the first floor, none below. The windows are always shut, but they're clean. And then there is a chimney, which is generally smoking. So somebody, I can imagine like a chimney, just like the chimney, just like pulls out of the cigar and just puts it into the mugs. Anyways, no, okay, anyways. Or it just grows a mouth or something and it's just like as smoke comes out of a funnel and it's just like tough day. I'm smoking. What about you, chimney number 2? I'm good. Anyways, chimney taking a smoke break. Queer Street. Okay. In the comment section below, if you watch this video all the way through, or if you watch this live stream all the way, well, dead stream, whatever. If you watch the stream in the future, or yeah, whatever. If you finish this stream, if you finish watching this content, right? If you finish watching this video stream, type in Queer Street. Or make a joke about Queer Street. Something. Not homophobic. Just a good joke. Queer Street. I know, it used to mean like strange or bizarre. Very odd behaving. Something that's just very out of place. Sometimes it could also mean like merry, like oh, very happy, la da 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 da. Merry's like the complete opposite of depressed, and then like merry, oh, the same thing with like gay, queer, and merry used to have like different words. Like gay just meant like oh god, so hot, and merry is just like hot. It's like the synonym for that. It's like, I don't know, like, I feel like Mary, I don't know, just good. It just had different definitions. I just love reading words with all the terms. Anyways, whereas I might reintroduce some of these old terms. And then there's a chimney with generally smoking, so somebody must live there. And yet, it's not so shut, for the buildings are so packed together about that court that it's hard to say where one ends and another begins. Okay, that's true. The pair walked on again for a while in silence, and then Enfield, said Mr. Anderson. That's a good rule of yours. Yes, I think it is, returned Enfield. But all for that, continued the lawyer. There's one point I want to ask. I want to ask the name of that man who walked over the child. Well, said Mr. Enfield, I can't see what harm it would do. It was a man of the name Hyde. Okay, so I can see where this is going. It was of the man named Hyde. Okay, I want to check something here. Device, computer, work, computer, work. Okay, that's not all I wanted to see. Computer, work. Okay, that's what I wanted to see. Okay, now that I, computer, work, computer. Thank you, computer. Okay, there was something on my computer that I wanted to work, but it wouldn't work for some reason. Anyways. Whew. Okay. It was the man of the name of Hyde. Said Mr. Utterson. What sort of man is he to see? He is not easy to describe. There's something wrong with his appearance. Something displeasing. Something downright detestable. I never saw a man I so disliked, and yet I scarce know why. He must be deformed somewhere. He gives a strong feeling of deformity, although I couldn't specify the point. He's an extraordinary looking man, and yet I really can name nothing out of the way. No, sir, I can make no hand of it. I can't describe him, and it's not of memory, for I declare I can see him this moment. I declare I can see him this moment. Okay, I do declare. Sorry. Mr. Utterson again walked some way in silence, obviously under a weight of consideration. You are sure he used a key? You are sure he used a key? He inquired at last. My dear sir, began Mr. Enfield, surprised out of himself. Yes, I know, said Mr. Utterson. I know it must seem strange. The fact is, if I do not ask you the name of the other party, it is because I know it already. You see, Richard, your tale has gone home. If you have been exact in any moment, you had better correct it. Inexact in any moment, you had better correct it. I think you might have won, eh? Oh, okay. I think you might have warned me, returned the other with a touch of surliness. But I have been pedantically exact, as you call it. The fellow had a key, and what's more, he has it still. I saw him use it not a week ago. Mr. Utterson slightly. Mr. Utterson sighed deeply, but said never a word. And the young man presently resumed. Here is another lesson to say nothing, said he. I am ashamed of my long tongue. Let us make a bargain to never refer to this again. With all my heart, said the lawyer. I shake hands on that, Richard. The search for Mr. Hyde. All right. And for tonight, we shall end it here. Whew. I should have brought a drink, but hey, however, it is it is uh it is time that for me to go. Oh, hold on one second. That yeah, it's on okay. Anyways, it's time for me to go. I know. No one was here to watch the stream, but that's okay. All good things come to an end. Just like this. String here. I would love to continue reading this story for tomorrow. Um, but it's starting to get late, and I don't have any. I don't have any viewers at the moment. There's no one live in the chat, and so oh well, it's fine. But tomorrow, excuse me, tomorrow we'll definitely continue onto chapter. Tomorrow evening we'll definitely continue onto chapter 2. This is a rather short story. I'm actually surprised. Anyways, so we'll continue chapter 2. I think if we finish this month, or within just a few live streams, if we just finish, that would be nice, I guess. What I'll do is I'll definitely circle back to Five Nights at Freddy's for hype, for hype of the movie. And then after circling back to we'll read To Be Beautiful. We'll get to a stopping point. For the hype of the movie, we'll read Fazbear Frights, To Be Beautiful. I'll come up with a different thumbnail for that one. I'll have to edit the thumbnail for this one because it when I'm posting it, it doesn't exactly fit or it doesn't exactly look like the way I want it to look. So I'll have to make a few adjustments. But don't worry. Hopefully I'll make one that would fit. I had small thumbnail problems. But anyways, see you all soon in the next episode. Oh, yes, I will also make the next on the shelf video, which we'll probably upload sometime later this week. That's another thing. So tomorrow, fall festival, but I don't think I would be able to record the fall festival. I don't know. Maybe. So tomorrow is a bit busy day. It seems like tomorrow, haircut, fall festival, stream, or video, and if I have time somewhere in between, make the video for the on the shelf, and then stream for more Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. I am enjoying it. It's my tongue's a bit dry, but hey, that's the sacrifice I'm willing to give. And that's it. See y'all soon. Leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell. Stay tuned. We'll eventually, hopefully, get back to this. Eventually, we might cover. Hey, that might be another thing. We might cover it in a stream with this. There we go. I will not read. this and if we do this. But regardless, anyways, bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you all soon. Blah, 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 blah.